Hi there, I'm Paxton with the College Democrats in North Texas, and today I have with me
Jacob Romy. I'm a senior. This is what we normally do, right? Is this intro here? I'm a senior, like you guys care.
former president
of College Democrats. I'm going to graduate in December. I'm a political science major. That's about it.
What is your favorite type of food?
Favorite type of food? I would say actually Mediterranean food. I'll give you a good answer there.
Wow.
I like a good gyro.
You know, that's a good answer. That is a good answer.
Yeah, because I feel like you don't really see that often. When you go to a good like Mediterranean like grill or something,
pita bread and hummus.
It's good. Tzatziki sauce.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It's weird how like different types of food have different like chips and salsa.
Hummus.
Like hummus.
Yeah.
Hummus and then or like I don't know. I can't think of another one.
So I guess there wasn't that many comparisons. Queso can count, but that's still part of the Spanish food.
Okay,
so that's it. All right, thanks guys.
All right, so would you mind for turning on the green screen for us?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, beautiful job.
A lot of hand moves here.
That was the best job so far.
Oh wow,
on the green screen.
Jordan's on alert.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and turn to our wider topic for today, which is continuing to talk about the healthcare bill and the kind of debacle / disaster that's been happening in slow motion under this Trump presidency. Do you want to start out?
Yeah, I guess Mitch McConnell got what was coming to him eventually. I think everybody thought he had a master plan that he was going to be able to do everything and get everything passed before July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't, so that is good news. But it's just interesting. We were in this spot, I guess, before with the House bill where it was, oh, we won, it's dead. And then it was kind of like, oh, it's back and it's going to pass through very quickly and under the radar without a CBO score. So what happens now is kind of interesting, but I think something that I kind of saw when they introduced the Senate healthcare bill, I don't know if you'd agree with this, but off of the polling of the approval, I mean, it had like a 15% approval rating. It was, dismal. Like, it was very, very bad.
It's funny to see the things that have a higher approval rating.
Yeah, like lice.
Yeah.
Lice has a higher approval rating. But it's just interesting to see that something like that healthcare bill has such a low approval rating, and I think it can be attributed to the fact that we've had 7 years of Obamacare. It's just interesting to think, are we as a society, is Obamacare the standard now? Like, is universal healthcare going to be part of our society now as a common, like, what we expect the standard for healthcare to be?
Right.
And now when Republicans are trying to do something different, even though Trump supporters may not be able to dissociate between Obamacare and the benefits from Obamacare, because they like the benefits, they want Obamacare repealed.
Right.
It seems like the benefits of Obamacare are now the standard or the third rail that, like, I'm hoping becomes the third rail of, like, universal healthcare is something you can't mess with anymore because that's what our society now expects us to have. But I don't know.
I mean, I definitely hope that's the case and that's where we're going, because obviously we both feel, that a single payer type solution is the best, and we want people to have health care.
Of course.
Like, the differences are the biggest between the Republican politician talking points and like what's actually the case for Republican voters.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, like with different issues, they'll be kind of using the same rhetoric and are largely on the same point. But oftentimes the Republican politicians are being obviously intentionally misleading. If they're not intentionally misleading about these things, then they are incredibly stupid. So it's one or the other. And they'll use talking points like, oh, we're no longer forcing people to buy into Obamacare.
You have freedom now.
Yeah, you have freedom, and that's why you're going to see so many people dropping off and not having health care. No, like Paul Ryan made that point. No, people are dropping off, but the vast majority of people are dropping off health care because they no longer have it, and because there's not enough money, you're cutting so much from the budget that they are now no longer going to get health care for illnesses and the treatment that they need. It should be a right. It's a human right.
Yeah, and that's what the leader, like Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, like, it seems like they're trying to spin this like like you said, like they're somehow in tune with the Trump supporter, which I don't think they are.
No, not
this
at
bill
all.
doesn't do. I mean, I think it's been hammered over and over again about how it does not help the average Trump supporter at all. It hurts them.
Right.
This helps rich people. It's a huge tax cut.
Exactly.
But it's just interesting of, I guess, short to long term benefit. I think Mitch McConnell's having to make the political calculation of the short term benefit of passing this through is more important to him right now than what I would consider to be long term very, very hurtful to the Republican Party if they pass this and it does affect the Trump supporter in the way that it does. And there's no way to answer for it. But at the same time, we don't want it to pass in the short term because it affects so many lives.
Well, exactly. So it's kind of like, and even then, a part of me wonders, even if it has that catastrophic toll, if it goes through and it has that catastrophic toll on the people who voted for the Republican politicians,
would they be able to actually
would they see the actual problem,
exactly.
right?
Would they not
because
that the spin that whatever Mitch McConnell and Paul
exactly,
tell them,
and to a certain extent, that's partly some Democrats' fault. In my opinion,
they need to hammer.
Exactly. If you're and not try and compromise, because this isn't like if someone offers you. I'm gonna shoot you with a gun, and then you say, okay, well, kill me with a knife. Okay, I compromise.
It doesn't work.
And I'm not being hyperbolic. People are literally going to die from this.
Oh, absolutely.
If it went through. So,
and I think it's an interesting larger point, which made me think about when this kind of got delayed, is just the idea of Republicans don't agree with the concept of everybody having health care to begin with. It is very hard to construct legislation for something that I think they fundamentally don't believe in.
Right.
I don't think they believe the idea that every person should have health care.
No.
They don't care. They'd rather not have anything in place at all. Mm-hmm. When I think society is moving more towards this expectation, like I said, of the benefits of something like Obamacare. Mm-hmm. So how can they be expected to get anything right?
Exactly.
Or get anybody on board?
Right.
They don't even agree with this, like they don't want this to happen.
Exactly.
They don't even want the parts that they're going to keep to even be in place.
You're putting the, the fox in charge of the hen house.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to be involved. I don't know.
For sure. And,
we'll see.
But to your original point about people expecting health care, and maybe that's the kind of path forward, I actually do think that that's probably like having health insurance.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So it's not something that most people will turn away from, especially if it's not labeled under like a toxic kind of thing, like Obamacare.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole smear campaign.
I believe the Affordable Care Act has a larger approval rating than Obamacare. The same thing. The two names give a very, but it's like Social Security. Like Social Security is a more left idea in general, but it's become a thing that Republicans don't touch. Republican voters love.
Yeah,
it's a thing. It's become part of our culture.
Which is why because it makes me mad when people make the point that like, oh well, if a Republican is the president, that means that the country must be more to the right. And I don't think that. I think most people lean on many issues to the left. The only you can't forget that Hillary got and I was a big diehard Bernie supporter, but Hillary got the popular vote, like 2 million.
Yeah.
So the country people. Overwhelmingly support policies like Social Security,
the idea of universal health care.
Yeah, it's just the Republicans are so good at messaging that no one can
and scare tactics.
Yeah, scare tactics that people get skittish. It reminds me of the Martin Luther King quote that I can never seem to quote correctly, but it's that timeline is long, but it arcs towards justice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So over time, we'll get closer.
There.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I guess we'll turn to our more closer look story, and it's gonna enhance
Zoom
local, and we're gonna talk about an article that was in the Texas Tribune about it's titled "Sid Miller Doesn't Rule Out Joining Trump's Agriculture Department." So it's a little bit of a piece about how our agriculture commissioner, Sid Miller, is rubbing shoulders with the Trump administration. And, Trump, because he's not prepared and is not a good, not a hard worker or competent, he's still not filled tons and tons of high-level duties. Like, even, every president, like, there's a certain period where there's so many different duties that you have to appoint that, and they don't actually do those, and it takes a lot because it's a bureaucracy. But
it's huge.
Yeah, it's
like
the U.S. Department of Agriculture, right, and the Texas Agricultural Commissioner. So he's kind of like Sid Miller's vying for it, and we're going to talk about I don't know how horrendous of a person Sid Miller
piece of trash
seems to be.
Human piece of trash.
Human piece of trash. Some have
Garbage.
said.
Yeah. Garbage man.
6 months ago, Texas Agricultural Commissioner Sid Miller was on President Trump's cabinet shortlist. Though Trump ultimately picked former Georgia Governor Tony Perdue to be his U.S. Agriculture Secretary, Miller says he might be interested in the position in the federal government. Floated for some of the his name has been floated for some of the vacancies. He has a kind of really pretentious quote that says, "I have been asked, but I haven't agreed to do any of them," Miller told the Tribune. "I kind of like being a big fish in a little pond down here in Texas." To which I say, "Oh God, you are the furthest thing from a big fish."
Yeah.
That is ever, because let's talk about some of the things he said and done.
Yeah.
So
he's had a troubled past with his like a lot of people we probably know in our families and stuff. When they grasped onto social media, they didn't know exactly what was appropriate to put online and what not to, and he's still trying to figure that out.
Right, r/old people Facebook.
Yeah, but he's an elected official, so he's in a different standard altogether too.
Yeah.
And he's still made the mistakes that we see.
So he's made a few what I'm sure people on the right would say blunders, but what we would call just being racist and sexist on social media. So one of the examples is a tweet that has a picture of rattlesnakes. Actually, it's on Facebook. I apologize. And then a picture of refugees from, I believe, Syria. And the Syrian refugees. And he writes, "Can you tell me which of these rattlers won't bite you? Sure, some of them won't, but tell me which ones so we can bring them into the house." Which, number one, is not a very well-constructed sentence.
No.
And then beyond that, granted minor point, he's comparing human lives who have been displaced because of a horrible and devastating war, right? And then he's to rattlesnakes. So which won't bite you? And it's like he has no amount of empathy at all. Just complete lack. And he's like, they're rattlers.
Yeah.
And who looks at that meme and goes, "Yeah, you know what? I'm sharing that. That's awesome."
Well, also he's stayed when we go through this, he's stayed in office the entire time all of these things has happened.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Do you think that has more to do with him being a Texas official, or do you think it is just about people not pressing the issue?
I've seen the Texas Tribune's done a good job, I guess, of reporting on some of the stuff that he said.
Yeah.
As far as, Greg Abbott as a governor and the rest of just our Texas officials, I don't know, the standard is so low.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a standard of whether or not if he says something, it's that's out of line. I don't know.
And by the way, when we say
middle ground.
when we say this stuff, I'm confident Jacob as well, we're Texans, right? And I love Texas. And this is not to criticize Texas, say, "Oh, what a terrible state," and just to for lack of a better term, crap on it. I want Texas to rise to be something that every Texan can be proud of. Sid Miller is not something that Texans can be proud of. He is a deplorable man. Yeah. There's the other tweet you want to talk about that is from 2016.
Oh yeah. He was quoting a poll of, I guess, some poll, Trump versus Clinton poll, and he referred to Hillary Clinton as the C word.
Yeah.
Derogatory term for women.
Well, of course,
the C word. Which, that was kind of, I guess he blamed on a staffer or something, which I think is total BS.
That's the go-to political thing is that, if you messed up on social media, you say a staffer did it.
He tweeted that, and I think for a lot of public officials, that would be it.
Right.
That should be.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if Democrats did a fraction of what Sid Miller's done?
25%.
They'll make up BS issues that aren't even legitimate. Horrible thing that shows that he doesn't care about the people, a large section of the people that he's supposed to represent.
Mm-hmm.
No one calls him out on it, or people do call him out on it, but he doesn't get taken down from his position.
Yeah. He's put something on Facebook at some point about how the Muslim world needs to be nuked.
Oh,
He put something on Facebook about that, and he also, as part of his duties as an agriculture commissioner, also is in charge of the, I guess, like meal planning and our school lunches and kind of like how that all works and what should and shouldn't be allowed in school lunches and how we're regulating it and stuff. And if you know, like when I grew up in public school, there was a certain point like in a grade where like, oh, they weren't like giving out like like soda or like you couldn't have like cake. They weren't offering these items because it was probably a good thing for like, oh yeah, kids should be healthy and we shouldn't feed them junk. He reversed all of that.
Yeah.
Now it's a free reign. I think he self-proclaimed himself as the cupcake king at some point.
Yeah, so
he's a monster for that. I think he said like everybody needs a little French fries in their life, something like that.
It's true.
It's fine, yeah, but
no
it's
one's
like,
restricting you to not have cake. You can have cake. It's just saying that the basis shouldn't be cake.
And they're saying for this one meal out of the day, we can ensure our youth one healthy, nutritious meal for them to eat, even if they aren't able to get that when they leave school.
And to tie back to our former, our first topic, to a certain extent, like we're eating healthy as a child, along with other factors, but will help prevent conditions later in life that we as taxpayers might then have to kind of like pay for because people have gotten sick, right?
So he wants to feed them cupcakes and then just not worry about it.
Yeah.
Check the gas pump next time you go to the gas station. There's a big sticker on there.
If you're in Texas.
If you're in Texas, that will say a note from the agriculture commissioner, and it has all the information you need if they have a problem or something like that. But it has his names in real big lettering of agriculture commissioner Sid Miller and all this kind of stuff. Normally those stickers stay the same, and they have stayed the same for a long time, and they haven't been replaced.
Right.
He, when coming in there, decided he wanted to put his own name on it, which had not happened before.
Well, this was a very pressing issue.
Exactly, and decided to spend a lot of tax dollars on putting them on every single gas pump in the state of Texas.
So Republicans want to talk about big government.
Yeah.
This is the thing where I could find some bipartisanship, right? Because in terms of gas stickers, we don't need the agriculture commissioner's name in big bold print on it. Like, I'm down with that. That's a great place for us to start cutting the budget, right?
I don't want to be reminded that Sid Miller exists at any point.
Beyond that fact, and you can tell it's just a kick for him because he likes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the agriculture commissioner.
Yeah, well, because he's a big. We have to be nice though, because he is a big fish in a little pond.
Tiny pond.
Tiny
state of Texas
is very
small.
tiny. Yeah,
Very
that's
small.
Smallest pond in the continental U.S. actually.
He also went. He took a trip to Oklahoma as well as some other states, I think Mississippi and stuff, to check out some like cattle practices or something. It's what he considered to be a part of his duties as agriculture commissioner in Texas. And instead, apparently, visited some rodeos, hung out, spent taxpayer dollars on hotels, all those kind of stuff, as well as painkiller injections that he referred to as Jesus shots.
Yeah, which is really creepy.
Yes. He's being investigated by the Texas Rangers. I think they eventually said it was fine, but
you do not want to mess with Texas Rangers.
Yeah, well, I guess they didn't.
Well, if you're the Texas agriculture commissioner and you walk around a big cowboy like that, maybe not.
Well, if you're a big fish in a little pond.
If you're a big fish,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are the Rangers gonna do?
He went to a smaller pond, Oklahoma. There's no way we were gonna find him.
It was tiny pond.
Yeah. Tiny pond.
If you live in Oklahoma, we apologize. There are a lot of cool.
It was great.
All right, so
he's garbage though.
Yeah, Sid Miller.
Just be honest. Like, keep that in your mind
Miller.
When you're voting in the next local election, and we have it where it's like, remember, we'll be voting for agriculture commissioner, and this man exists. Yes. And he holds a position as a desk, like in the Capitol.
Exactly. It's important because those names matter, and those people can do as much wrongdoing with the things that they don't do as the things that they do.
His messaging and children's lunches, like, does a lot of damage.
And so if you are, I guess like a millennial or like our age, remember Sid Miller, Sid like the bad kid in Toy Story.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's always breaking the toys
braces
and pushing them together. No, I mean Sid. I think. Are there other Sids?
Yeah. No.
There's like one other like representative whose name's Sid, and he's really amazing. He's like, I don't know why all these people are mad.
Is there one Democratic like cabinet that Bernie Jackson will vote out? We don't have it.
Well, do you want to give any closing remarks or plugs?
Plugs. I'm working at the Denton County Summer Camp, so I don't know if you have any children or you are a child of the age.
How is that?
3 to 7. I know this is a dumb plug.
Well,
it's fun. It's fun.
It's going.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Do you get to participate in the activities?
Yes.
Okay.
We get, for the most part, yeah.
Yes.
We have to. I mean, have to supervise, but like we mainly play games, do story time.
Right. Well, that's awesome, man.
Graduating soon at a university near you.
Yes. If you're on the UNT campus, be sure to follow us on all the social medias. We will be starting up meetings on Tuesday nights in the fall semester, so look out for that. And I think at least for the fall semester, you'll still be in meetings.
No, I'm
so,
go, sure.
And yeah, so you can see Jacob in person and me not. You can't see me in person. I'm a hologram.
Exactly.
I know that. Yeah, that's normal.
Details.
All right.
That's amazing.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Dun dun dun. Cool, man.